Hi, and welcome to the next edition of the Check-In Podcast, where we're talking about leading well-being at work and at school, and what does that look like? We're talking with community builders and leaders in all sorts of different organizations. Today, I've got my guest, Nicole McNeill. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Nelson, and thanks for having me. I was really thrilled when you reached out and shared your personal journey with me. It made me feel very privileged to be able to come on your podcast today.
Oh, thank you. Maybe tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Nicole, as Nelson just mentioned, and I am the leader of the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, which is an organization in Ontario. We have about 1,800 people all across the province, and we do all property assessment. In addition to that, I also do some board works. I sit actually on the board of Ontario Shores, which is a mental health teaching hospital. So the topic today that we're going to talk about is near and dear to my heart when we talk about wellness and mental health, because it's something that I feel is a bit of a mission for me, especially in the workplace. And Nelson, we're recording this on Employee Appreciation Day, so there's a great tie-in to why employees are so important.
Amazing. So, first question, Nicole, is what does well-being at work mean to you personally?
It's a great question because as I mentioned, it's one of my overall missions is making sure that there is well-being. So I know you use the word well-being. Well, I use the word wellness. And for me, what it really is it's providing that environment where employees feel empowered to feel well, where they can be their best selves. And it's not always about, call it the perks or the programs, the employee benefits. All of those things are very important. But for me, it's about creating a culture that recognizes, most importantly, that we're all human beings. We're people. We're not robots. You and I were talking about AI just before we got on the call. And we all have good days and we have bad days. And the more that we can be our authentic self, the more that we can prioritize wellness, I just believe that will make us more successful when we're at work.
Yeah, I think in beautifully said. In one of the earlier interviews I did, someone had mentioned the soul of the company, and that line has stayed with me. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, what is the soul of your company? That kind of thing. Can you share one thing, big or small, that your organization does that supports well-being in the workplace?
Sure. I think this is both big and small. It's just making wellness part of the agenda, part of the DNA. So you just mentioned soul. It's making sure it is, I guess, I haven't used that term before in this context, but part of the soul of the organization. So we embed wellness right into our culture. And it's things from, we used to have sick days. Well, now we call them wellness days. We offer regular webinars on wellness so that employees, depending on what it is that they're interested in, they can dial in. It could be something about mental health. It could be something about men's health. We've been talking about menopause. And the great news is I know that it's working because I've had employees who actually reach out to me after they've had some challenge in their life, whether it be a short challenge or a longer challenge. And what they say to me is, Nicole, I know I don't know you, but I just want you to know that you guys are actually walking the walk. It's not just talk. And they'll explain to me what they went through. They'll explain to me how they worked with their manager and how supported they felt. And now they're back and now they're able to do their best self at work. So that's really what we do is we just embed it in the culture. It's not a stigmatized topic over here. It's something that people feel comfortable to talk about their wellness and prioritizing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially post-COVID, even more important now is that space of mental well-being in the workplace. And it's challenging. So what's one challenge that you're faced with as a leader when it comes to supporting well-being at work?
You know what? The one challenge that I have had and I still have is being able to solve for everyone's individual circumstances, their stress, their need, and trust me, if I could, I would. But we all know as leaders, we can't. But what we can do is we can create that DNA that we just spoke about. We can create systems and create a culture that just puts people first. So that's where I focus. Now more than ever, as you know, people are looking to leaders for a lot. They're looking to us for certainty. And while we can't provide that certainty, what I can do is create stability. And you create that through ensuring that we have that DNA of well-being or wellness in our culture. We're transparent with our communications and decisions, and eventually it builds trust as we go forward.
Mm-hmm. And so we've talked about everybody else. What does Nicole do to recharge her batteries?
It's a great question, Nelson. You and I were speaking about that because you and I are both organizing some philanthropic events this weekend. And a saying that, you know, I heard years and years and years ago, and one that I say to other people and I remind myself, is putting your own mask on first. And so I need to prioritize my own wellness and well-being. And that things that are important to me to do that are, I need a certain amount of time to rest and recharge. I'm an introvert. You know, I live in an extroverted world. Some people say, well, you're an introvert. Well, I really am, and I need time by myself just to rest and recharge. And I also have to prioritize things that help keep me feeling well and healthy. So my mornings are very important to me. I wake up early. I like to do my workout. I like to think and reflect. Sometimes I do some writing in the morning, and my evenings are important to me. I'm tired at the end of the day. And so I share that with my team quite openly. And it doesn't mean that I'm not available if there is something, but I do really try to prioritize myself and put my own mask on first.
Yeah, we say that phrase in our support group meetings all the time. And I know the mornings can be especially hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we reframe the morning, and it's been successful in our talks, and that insofar as your morning routine should be what we call a morning system. So creating a system that provides you with the most energy when you're leaving the house to go to work or to go wherever you're going to go. I always have that image of like just, you know, pumping the gas in your car. But really what we're doing is we're filling up our tank for the morning, right? And things like journaling and writing and walking and just getting everything going, that becomes a system for someone to implement versus, you know, the doom scrolling and the energy wasting and stuff. So I love that you said that.
I was just going to say, also, I love that. And if you're looking for another one, and because I really believe this, win the morning, win the day. So all those systems that you just spoke about, they set you up for success later in the day. And I can tell you, like, even it's things such as food. So like if you have a donut for breakfast versus, you know, maybe something healthy, you end up making less healthy choices throughout the day if you start your day unhealthy. So win the morning, win the day.
Love that. So what advice would you give to current leaders if they're interested in creating these same kinds of cultures that you folks have where you are?
The advice I'd give is there is an ROI when you prioritize wellness. And it's not just one thing. It's not just, you know, will my sick days go down, or will my benefit costs go down, or will productivity will go up? It's all of the above, and it takes time. But I have this belief that employees, they want to do their best, but sometimes they need help and they need systems, as you just mentioned. So for leaders who are looking at how do I get started? What do I do? Yes, you need programs and you need systems, but when you build it into the culture, your employees will provide that ROI. They will give their best selves at work. So that would be my advice, is it's not just a nice to have. It's not just something that sits on your website and when you're hiring and recruiting for employees, it makes them stay. It makes them loyal. It makes them want to do their best selves because they feel valued.
Yeah, absolutely. When the day comes, if the day comes that you so choose to call it a career and cast off, how would you like the people that worked with you and for you to remember you?
That I would like them to remember me as someone who is human centered. And what I mean by that is my leadership is humans leading humans. And for me, especially recently, and not always in my career, it means showing vulnerability and showing that I'm a human first. I'm an accountant by nature, and in my early days, I focused on numbers and performance, but there's behind all of that are people. And so that's how I lead, and I think that's what I'd like people to remember me by, as being a human-centered leader. I'm a human, I show I'm human, and I see the human in you.
Beautiful. And last question is what gives you hope for the future of leadership and workplace well-being?
So this might be an interesting answer. What gives me hope is, while there's all this nervousness and concern about AI, it's going to take our jobs and they're robots, I think it also gives us the opportunity to really focus on people and what it means to be human, and what our value add is. Because let's face it, AI is faster and smarter and all these things, but it's not human. And what fuels AI are not the same things that fuel humans. And at the end of the day, we're the people, we're the buyers, we're the consumers. So I think as you're looking at AI and as humans, we can really double down on what the human aspects are in the face of AI. So that's what kind of gives me a little bit of hope with a lot of the other uncertainties that we're all trying to navigate out there.
Absolutely. In our discussions, we say, what, like, AI is great for what it, here kind of thing, but it doesn't have that gut feeling, that intuition that humans have. And it doesn't have the energy that humans have, and never will. That's a gift we humans have. Is the ability to kind of read off each other and each other's energies and so forth, and work together like that. So yeah, I love all the answers. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to get to spend these 15-20 minutes with you, and I wish you nothing but the best for you and your family.
Great. Well, thank you, Nelson, and thank you for having me, and good luck with your event this weekend. I know it's going to be great, and you're going to feel even better when it's done.